Welcome, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome to day 2 of the Unlock Quantum Sales Growth Summit. It is so good to see your beautiful faces. Oh, I see more people on camera today. This is so fun. I love this. So welcome. Yeah, I can do it while there's still not a ton. We got Valerie, Penny, Ray, Christina, Ashley, Debbie, Laura, Kelly. I don't know who Goodman iPhone is, but welcome. CXO Carly, I am so excited to be with all of you today. And today we are diving into all things money. So I don't know who's excited about that. I'm excited about that for sure. So it's going to be really, really powerful. I want to hear before we dive in, what were some of your biggest takeaways from yesterday? So I saw Debbie had posted an aha in the Facebook group. So whoever wants to come off mute and just share really quick what showed up for you, what shifted, whether it was while we were live or doing the homework. I want to hear from you. What was an aha that showed up? This is part of you aligning with quantum sales growth, is being visible and sharing us. So this is something I love about this community too, is it is such a safe space to share. So you can type it in the chat if you prefer, but if anyone wants to come off mute and share, I would love to hear that. Debbie, yeah.
Just to get it going, one of the things I said in the Facebook group is that as a young girl, I really didn't have role models. And there were actually some years where my mother didn't live with us. So it became essential to me to start to find role models, but then to get fussier and fussier and fussier and more focused about who that was going to be. And really that has made an incredible difference. Your role model can be on the other side of the planet. They can know 5 languages that you don't. They might be 25 years younger than you, 45 years older than you. It doesn't even matter. What matters is how those values align and how you start to see your potential because they're in your life. That's really made a difference.
Oh my gosh. I 100% agree. That has been transformational in my own life. And that it ties in so much with what we were talking about yesterday, that we so often take these things for granted, these limiting beliefs for granted that we have because they've been with us for so long. And so I really want to encourage you to start questioning everything that doesn't support you in the achievement of your goals. And then also get yourself in the proximity of someone who has achieved the results you're looking to achieve. And I tell this to people all the time, whether it's me, if my energy and what we teach here resonates with you, great, get in this energy. If someone else resonates with you, get in their energy. I don't care. But the important thing is to have a mentor, a role model who is embodying the transformation you want to create in your sales, your business, and your life, and then spend time with them. Right. And invest to be in their energy too, because we only value what we invest in. So that is beautiful, Debbie. Who else? Let's hear Penny. Yeah. Let's hear from you.
I'll just tag on to what Debbie was saying, is that what really hit me yesterday, and actually I started crying. I've heard you say this before, where years 1 through 7, and we don't have that conscious mind yet. We're just building the subconscious, and how impactful we can be. We can be the role models. And so if I'm the role model, I want to be the best role model I can be. And so as I change, I have an opportunity to impact others around me. And that is just such a privilege and a blessing, and something that, I invest in myself so that I can share that legacy with others.
Oh my gosh. I love that so much, Penny. Yeah. When you learn this, and I'll tell all of you, I'll just kind of peel back a little bit, on my heart, when I do my meditation and visualization in the mornings, and the things that move me the most are, number one, it's the transformation in my clients' lives. And beyond that, if you want to know, the thing that gets me bawling is thinking about the kids being impacted. That's really it, because for each of you, whether you're a mom, a friend, and aunt, a niece, a sister, there are kids that when you up level are impacted so profoundly. And to me, that's part of it's gosh, maybe the biggest driving thing. I haven't really stopped to think about it, but when I think about like impact and lifelong impact and what I care about, it's how can we create a ripple effect from all of the women in this community to go out and impact every single little boy, little girl that we can, to help them have a radically different experience than many of us had growing up. So yeah, don't get me started on that. That's like, it'll be the end. Beautiful. One more. Do we want to do one more takeaway? Aha, shift. I saw some beautiful notes from the homework. Ray, it's so good to meet you on camera, by the way. I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, likewise. Happy to be
Yeah.
here. Hey. So I write a lot, but yesterday, I don't know if the floodgates open and I just wrote and wrote and wrote, and a lot of it that came out were positive affirmations, and I came upon having to tell myself that I am deserving of the blessings that are being given to me. Because I grew up very poor and very conservative family. So it's almost like when we were given anything, or if anything, a blessing came to us, it was so strange. We're like, this must be like, we were skeptical, or we were like looking for like, oh, but yeah, that's not for me, that's for so-and-so, or looking for a way that it wasn't for us, or we're not deserving, or no, that's okay. Don't worry about that. So I really had to like go through several sentences of positive affirmations that the things that are coming into my life are blessings for me, that are working for me, and I am deserving of them. And yeah, it just, all the things that you were saying yesterday really brought that out of me. And that was a big aha moment for me to change that perspective.
Wow. That will shift everything for you. When you lean into that and you start to believe that and embody that, and you just dismantle that old belief system of unworthiness, and poverty thinking, and how many women can relate to some version of that too. And we get under the, I know you're going to hear this like again and again this week, but quantum sales growth is about getting under the hood of what is actually holding you back in your sales. Yes, we do strategy. We've got a killer strategy team here. I've got a lot of strategy background. We're going to cover that deep on Thursday, but we have to build that on top of a foundation of worthiness, of availability to receive, of availability to be visible, of, beautiful relationship with money. So you making those shifts is so, so powerful. So well done. Yeah. Well done. Amazing. All right. I could literally listen to shifts all day long and not teach anything today, but I'm going to get into teaching because I've got a lot I want to share with you today. The homework submissions that you all did were beautiful. Thank you to everyone who shared that in the Facebook group. And even if you didn't share it, but you did it, great. Like, I want you to get the transformation from this event, and you not only showing up live like you are here, but then also applying yourself in the homework is what's going to help this go from understanding it intellectually to starting to embody it more. Because at the end of the day, embodying these principles and not just knowing them, but becoming them is what's going to make the shift for you. So just a reminder, to be entered into the free prize drawing, you do need to show up daily, live, do the homework, share it in the Facebook group. But you know what, whether you, again, choose to do that or not, like, do the homework, apply yourself so that you can get your own transformation as well. Amy, I just got access to Facebook this morning. This is my Elise journal. I feel so honored that you have an actual journal. Amy, maybe at some point this week, not to put you totally on the spot, but maybe at some point this week, I'll have you chat a bit about what shifted for you, like just being in this community. I know you've made so many amazing strides, and you're such a great example to your kiddos and your community as well since early 2021. I love that. All right, my friends, let's get into it. We're talking all things money today. So this is one of my very favorite topics to teach, because it is one of the big three, right? The core root of what holds us back from quantum sales growth. So let's talk about this, because at the end of the day, selling involves money. right? It involves receiving money. And whether we are entrepreneurs having to set our own rates and wanting to charge more, but doubting that we're worth it and not feeling like we can actually charge what we want to receive, or whether we're a sales professional whose job security is on the line if you don't get the money or sell a certain amount. It matters. It matters a lot. And there are so many hangups that everyone universally has with money. What I have seen from the women in our community who quantum leap is that when they learn these principles, and again, embody them, they are free to achieve what they want and to receive what they want as well. So what I've found, and part of why I'm so passionate about this, I think, is that I struggled in this area for so long. So I'll share just a little bit more of my own journey here. But even when I was in corporate and then later earlier stage entrepreneur, like making low six figures, I was in so much anxiety and fear about money. And I don't know if you can relate to this. Like, I'd love to just see either show of hands or, type your name in the chat. But yeah, and I'm going to open it up today for us to do some live coaching on what's showing up for you here. And I think this is really powerful as a dialogue. My personal story was, even if the money was there, I'd be in so much fear that it was going to go away. Who's had that experience, right? Or I'd have an okay month and then I would immediately have anxiety about how am I going to do it again, right? Or I'd be on a sales call with someone and I would be so nervous about whether they were going to say yes or no to me, and really like what it would mean about me if they said no. Can anyone relate to that? So there's so much when it comes to money and women and sales. I think I don't know, how many of you came from more traditional corporate sales backgrounds? That was my background. Who has heard the term like hunting a lot? Like go out and hunt. I was thinking about that this morning while I was prepping for this, and I almost got hired once somewhere and I turned down the job, but they wanted me to be their quote unquote whale hunter. And even just Laura's laughing, like if you think about it, the energy of that, there's so much conditioning in the sales world that for you to get a sale, for you to win, you've got to hunt, you've got to kill, you've got to overcome. Like, who here wants to be in that energy when we're selling, right? Like, of course, we're going to have blocks about receiving money and receiving sales if we think that we have to hunt, kill, take advantage of someone. Now, with all due respects, I know we've got women in this community who do hunt, and you go get it. So that's not me, but that's okay. But for many of us, that feels very uncomfortable. And so I found myself every month, like doing okay and always having like just enough, but always in fear of whether or not I could replicate the results. We don't have time today to get into all of it around money. In our modules for our programs, 10K and 50K Club, we do deep dives into what is really going on when we have money blocks. What I will say is that it's not about the money. It's not about the money. So if you think you struggle to receive money, it's not about the money. For many of the women, I kind of previewed this yesterday, the struggle around receiving has more to do with some sort of past trauma in our lives. And it could be a lot of different things. It could be limiting beliefs that were instilled in childhood. There's just junk floating out there about money and what it means to have money or not have money. So that's pervasive on our planet. And then there's also one of the things that I take very seriously, because it's a safe space and an honor and a privilege to do this work with women too. For many of the women in our community, not everyone, but for many of the women, there has been some sort of a trauma experienced around receiving. So I'm gonna share this story. I'm gonna just do a disclaimer. This is heavy. Okay, it is a heavy story, but I think it exemplifies why we as women often struggle to receive money. And just tune in for, does any part of this resonate with you? You likely haven't had the exact same experience, but maybe you've had something that you can relate to. So we've got a client in the community who I worked with several years ago, who's an entrepreneur working in corporate, but had a side job too, and very successful woman, like very in her corporate job, and was very passionate about her side business that she had started. And when she came in, what she shared was that like she was so good at what she did. And she had such a hard time asking clients for money. Like she loved what she did. It was easy for her. She's great at it. But when it came time to send the invoice or ask for the money, she found herself in so much fear and she would just like stop herself. It was really hard to ask. And so one of the things that we do with our clients is a fair amount of inner work to get started. We do inner child work to really help you shift how you're showing up in your business or in your career. From a lot of times we don't even realize we're showing up as like our inner 7-year-old or our inner adolescent, and to help you start showing up as the empowered leader in your life and in your business that you want to be. So in doing this work, she uncovered a memory that she hadn't even thought about consciously in years, where her stepdad growing up, and he was just a man, not a nice guy. She had to ask him, she was a teenager, she had to ask him for money for a school trip. And she was dreading asking him for money because he always made a big deal about it. But she was like, I really want to go on the trip. And it was like $100 she had to ask for. So she decided one day she was just going to do it because it was getting closer to the trip and she needed the money. He's outside in the backyard, grilling out, smoking a cigar, hanging with his buddies. And she walks up to him and says, stepdad, I need to ask for $100 for this school trip. Just like bracing for what he's going to say. And he says, I'll give it to you, but you need to let me backhand you first. And so in that moment, she's standing there in front of him, in front of all of his, and I know it's like, it's heavy. So I acknowledge that, but in front of him and all of his friends, she says, okay. So he smacks her across the face, hands her $100 bill, and he laughs with all of his friends. And she walks off with the money, but with so much shame and embarrassment and pain. So I say that again, not to be a huge downer, but to give an example of just one of many stories that we have heard from women in the community of a time when it wasn't safe to receive. All right. And again, everyone has their own journey. Everyone has their own story, but I want you to just tune into, was there a time for you when it wasn't safe to receive? And be open to shifting that and healing that is actually where you're going to start to unlock the ability to receive more money as well. So I hope that makes sense. And here's the beautiful, I'm like, let me not just leave you hanging there. The beautiful end to that story is when she healed that and realized what was going on and did the inner work that we do to help herself feel safe. And she did the inner child work. She was able to start invoicing clients with joy and with ease. And her company went on to become very successful. And she's traveling the world now with her brand and her company, and she's crushing it and she's having fun. But it was that one thing that she thought she just was uncomfortable asking for money. She didn't realize the depth of what was going on. So when we shifted that and healed that, everything transformed for her. So it's really, really beautiful how when we get under the hood and shift that and heal that, the quantum leaps come. So here is what I would love to, what I'd love to hear from whoever wants to share just briefly is in terms of hangups with money, whether it's receiving money, asking for money, what are some of the biggest things that we're currently bumping up against? And you can either come off mute or you can type it in the chat, but I want to take like 2 minutes to hear from those of you who are here live. So what are we looking to shift with money? What are the challenges with money? Again, you can literally just come off mute and shout it out, or you can type in the chat. Debbie's saying, I've got stories like that. Healing is happening. Ways to truly shift the story forever. Yes. Once you get it and you understand what it is and you move the energy, like you're good, you're done. It doesn't have to be a thing anymore. I thought I would never escape the like obsessive money trap and the not enoughness trap. It's done. It's beautiful. It's like an easy part of my life now. And I'm going to share with you today the mindset that I had to adopt for that to happen. All right, I'm going to stop talking. Who has something showing up for you with money? Kelly, yes, let's do it.
Yes.
Hi, everybody. Nice to be here. Lovely to be part of this. I think for me, a lot of what you said yesterday really resonated, but I've been running my own business for 23 years. And so 12 months a year we do billing, 12 months a year I have billing guilt. So 12 times 23. And it is absolutely what you said yesterday, that you get what you are and what you're ready, how you position yourself. So if I am billing with guilt and apology, I'm not able to grow. I'm not able to say, hell yeah, pay me. We give good work, good service, and all that. And it is definitely something that I'm tired of struggling with.
Yeah.
So figuring out how to break that so that I can grow without apology and without that self-limiting thing. Because it's not business, it's not the service delivery and all of that, but it is definitely my ethos that needs to change.
Oh my gosh, that's so powerful, Kelly. And that level of self-awareness too, when you get that, again, it's transformational. So one of the things that I would be thinking about is, what is the belief system I would need to have in order to bill with gratitude? Right. Because that's one of the biggest things that shifts for us, is when we can transform and alchemize guilt into gratitude. So what is the belief I would need to have about billing and asking for money? Right. And obviously there's deeper things that have happened in your lived experience where there's the guilt in asking for what you want and asking for what you're worth. So that's something that, we could work through. And then at the end of the day too, it's going to be, what is the new belief system that I need to adopt to be able to send out these bills freely and great. So very like high level there, but I love that you shared that, because that will transform so much for you. So thank you for that. Let's do one more. Who else has something around money? Kelly. Yeah.
Hi, the other Kelly. Hey. So it's actually funny because I swear I always read exactly the right thing in the suggested readings the day that we're going to talk about it. Like that one day a couple weeks ago when there was like a car analogy or something.
Yes.
So funny. But today I was reading Think and Grow Rich this morning, and there was something that I was just like, oh my gosh, that's me. And it said, well, basically why this ties in is because when I was a kid, I feel like I would always ask my parents for like $40 to go to a movie and grab dinner with friends on like a Friday. And my mom would be so weird about letting me have $40. So then subconsciously that's like, you're not worth $40, or like, you don't deserve to go enjoy life or whatever. So what Think and Grow Rich said is, the spendthrift cannot succeed mainly because he stands eternally in fear of poverty. And I felt like now that I'm older, I've noticed I sometimes don't have the best spending habits because I'm trying to prove to myself that I have like $40 to spend. But if that's backed by fear rather than backed by feelings of abundance, then that's actually a blocker.
Yes.
So I just realized that this morning.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's so good. It's so good. You can spend $40 in scarcity, or you can spend $40 in abundance. And you've probably heard me say this because you're in the community, but the energy in which we do a thing determines the outcome of a thing. So it doesn't matter what the thing is. It's all about what's the energy that you're bringing to it. So that's such a powerful takeaway, Kelly. Yeah, I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay. There's so many good things. By the way, Patty, I'm so happy you're here. I love you. I'm so glad that you're here. Setting pricing for courses, classes. Like, I feel like people, okay. Yeah. So like, I bet if we got under the hood, you actually know how much you'd like to charge, but there's a fear about people paying, which when we work through and release, you're going to be very clear and confident in your pricing. Right. So thank you for sharing that. Valerie, I hate invoicing. I feel like the clients can look at the number and evaluate whether my services are worth it. Oh yeah, we're going to get into this today. All right, my friends, we got to get into this, because this is, I think what I'm going to share today is going to help you all make some shifts. So I'm going to break down 3 keys to receiving the money that you actually want in your sales or your business today. I want to first, though, get straight to the point about what our desire for more money is actually about. And this is something that also helped me get past hangups with money when I realized it wasn't about the money. So at the end of the day, whatever it is that you want, whether a car, whether a certain, like a 50K month, whether a promotion, whether a house, whether a partner. You don't want it because of the thing itself. You want it because of the emotion that you think you're going to experience as a result of it happening. So the core root of why we want more money, more abundance, is actually freedom. And if you've never thought about it that way before, I want you to stop and think about it right now. Money in and of itself, if it did not create freedom for you in your life, it would be meaningless. But the reason we want money, choices, options, freedom to do what we want, right? So the core root of what you're looking for with money is freedom. Now, most people, when they realize that, they say, yes. And what I want is I want time freedom and I want money freedom. What I have found is it's actually a level deeper. It's a level deeper. The core desire when we say we want more freedom and more money is that we actually want the freedom to be the fullest expression of ourselves, whatever that looks like for each one of us. And that was the wish that I made on my 35th birthday, where usually I would wish for, like, I don't know, a certain amount of money or like an experience or something fun that year. I said, I want to experience the fullness of who I am, because I realized there were so many places in my life where I'd been limiting myself, limiting my desires, not trusting my voice, not trusting my instincts. And when I made that the focus, I want to be the fullest expression of myself, everything transformed. And when I decided to accept and receive that and start being her and start making choices and decisions like her, the money came into support. So we're going to talk today about the energy of money and how that works. But that was the energy and that was the decision that created a huge financial quantum leap in my life. And that is, like, just check in with yourself when you really look at the core of what you're looking for with freedom. Who here's resonating with this? Like, at the end of the day, it is actually the freedom to be fully embodied as the fullest expression of yourself. So I'm going to give you all a couple of minutes here to journal. And I want you to journal on, what would the fullest expression of yourself be at this point in your life and career? So who is she? What is she doing? I think for those of you who did the homework yesterday, you got some clarity on that, but I want you to take it further today. What would the fullest expression, the most, Kelly used the word unapologetic, and I love that. That's actually my word for the year. The most unapologetic version of you. What is that fullest expression of yourself right now? And then why would that actually lead to quantum sales growth for you? So we're going to help you make some connections here. All right. Fullest expression of you. Why and how would that lead to quantum sales growth? I'm going to mute and I'm going to play some music. We're going to do about 5 minutes. And Laura, maybe if you can just give me a thumbs up if you can hear the music I'm going to play now. Okay. All right. I was so into that. I wasn't even paying attention. All right. Song is done. The song is done. So obviously, if you've got more you want to do, come back and do this later today after we complete. I'm going to keep going just to keep us on time. Laura, yeah, thanks for popping that in the chat. But there's a lot of freedom that comes from getting clarity on what you really want, which again, we have been taught often as women is too much, too this, too that. But I'm really big, and this is such a, I think, a beautiful thing about this community is like we do the work we need to do to shift and heal, and we are simultaneously massively expanding. So we're not stuck in our wounds. We're not stuck in victim mindset. We go for what we want unapologetically. And when there's healing work that needs done, we do it and we keep moving. All right. So it's that type of energy with this. So let's talk about money. I have a presentation for you again today. We're going to spend just a little bit of time on this, and I'm excited to share this with you. All right. Can you all see my screen? Okay. That good. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So second quadrant of quantum sales growth. Money. Yesterday we talked about mind over matter. Today we are doing all things money. So I will say with this, like I kind of previewed before, there's so much more to this than we have time for today. For those of you who are in our community already, October in 10K and 50K Club is all about money and wealth. So like get excited because we're going to go deep into that. But I want to share with you all, everyone here today, some of the things that I think are, for me, they really shifted my ability to receive and earn what I wanted. And I see them making some of the biggest impact for our clients as well. So, and yes, for those of you who are type A and pay attention, this dollar bill is reversed. It happened when I put the slide together. It's like someone's going to be bugged out by that the whole time if I don't acknowledge it. So it just is what it is. We're going to roll with it. So number one, these are the 3 keys to help you unlock your next level of money and receiving in your career and your business. We have to start to understand the energetics of money at a deep, deep level. So the way that I have learned to think of money is like breath, circulation. I used to get really caught up on like, it has to be a certain amount. I put my validation in how much I earned that month. When I shifted the relationship to believe that I am so loved and so supported that of course I always have enough resources for me to live out the fullest expression of myself, and shifted into more of a breathing in and breathing out type of dynamic with money, everything transformed. I dropped the fear. I dropped the scarcity. I dropped the obsession. And it was like, money just is. It just is. So here's how I think about it. Money has to circulate. So if you want to receive more money, you have to be willing and comfortable to circulate and flow out more money. If we think about it, just like breath, just like the air, the oxygen that we breathe in, most of us are not in fear of whether we'll have enough air to breathe. We don't even think about it, right? You need to breathe in, you just breathe in. You're not thinking about it right now. It's subconscious, right? Your autonomic nervous system is doing it for you. You're just breathing in, and then you just exhale what you don't need anymore. It's not a big deal. This will transform everything for you. I feel like I'm seeing some like light bulbs go off. So this is really good. I'm glad this is resonating. We receive in and we flow out, and we receive in and we flow out. We're going to talk in a minute about what can kink the hose with money, but this is what keeps the flow open. So the energy of trust, worthiness, gratitude, empowerment, sufficiency. This is big. I teach in our programs the universal laws related to sales and money and growth. And so the law of sufficiency and abundance is huge. So whatever you have right now, most all of you are here because you want more, right? And you want to grow, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's beautiful. That's my passion, is helping you grow. But there's this law called the law of sufficiency and abundance. That's like whatever we have by law is enough to get us to where we want to go. If we look at it with sufficiency and abundance and understand that it is enough to take the next step. We always have enough to take the next step. with what we have. So it's really, really beautiful. But if you think that you don't have enough sales, you're not going to have enough sales. If you think that you do have enough sales, guess what? You're going to get more sales because you're in the energy. It's the observer effect in quantum physics. It doesn't matter what it is at the end of the day. It's your perspective of it that will either multiply it or shrink it. So whatever we bless and appreciate will grow, and whatever we condemn as not enough will shrink. This is quantum physics. This is law. So sufficiency, love, right? Love, and then peace. So people think money brings peace. It's the opposite. Peace brings money. All right. So this is the energy that we want to practice being in as we flow our money and both receive and flow out. So Kelly, to the point that you were saying before, Kelly Greer, to the point you were saying before about the $40, it's all about the energy you're in with it. So what can kink the hose? Quite a few things, but these are some of the big ones. And just pay attention to, oh, okay, where am I currently kinking the hose of the flow? Holding back from desires that flow in to you. I believe and know your desires are divine. Whatever your desire is, whether it's to move into a certain type of home, whether it's to expand your business, whether it's to invest in something for yourself, whether it's to go on a trip, that is divine. I say this quite a bit. Your desires are green lights. Your job is to follow them. So if you hold back from following that desire for the fear of investing money in it, you kink the hose. Making clients or your job source, that absolutely will kink the hose. And I'll share a quick example. Am I okay on time? Yeah, I think I'm okay on time. This happened to me just a couple of years ago. We were doing an enrollment event, and it was one that we'd done multiple times before. It was like summer of 2021, and it had always produced really great results. We did the exact same thing this time around, and we would usually have, we'd have a good number of people sign up for the event. I had one person sign up for the event. We did the exact same thing. One person signed up, and I was like, what is going on? And I admittedly was like in trigger and upset and all of that. Well, fortunately, one of my team members at the time was like, remember, we don't make client source. And I was like, just get on a call with this woman and talk to her. Cause I was about to be like, screw it. I was so in trigger. I was like, screw it. We're just going to cancel it and refund her money. And boom, it was not one of my best moments. But I get on a call with this beautiful soul. And in 20 minutes, she says, Elise, this is exactly what I need. I want to do private coaching with you. And that one private coaching package hit our entire enrollment goal for the event. I didn't need to do the whole thing that time that I thought we had to do. But if I had made client source and said, oh, this is a failure, or I'm a failure, then that wouldn't have happened. So fortunately, I had someone remind me of what I know to be true. And we were able to have a beautiful, and this woman went on to, we worked together for close to 2 years. She's amazing. Like, we were actually messaging this morning. So really, really important. We don't make client source. We don't make your job source. Feeling unworthy will absolutely kink the hose. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. Making money source will also kink the hose. So I heard this from Bob Proctor originally. He said, love people, use money. So when I used to unconsciously make money God, and I would let it determine what I could or couldn't do. And when I learned to shift the energy where I am in control of my life and I am empowered, and there's a beautiful, for who was in Sedona this year? I know a number of you were in Sedona. We had Tony Jones come out and perform at our retreat, and she sang the song, Money Worships Me. And I love that song. Like, when I learned to think about it, like, money worships me, and money wants to help me fulfill my vision on the planet. Money, that's how we get money to flow, is you saying yes to your desires and yes to your vision. And the money comes into support. We're going to talk a lot tomorrow about masculine and feminine energy. I'll just do a super quick preview. Your vision is the feminine. The masculine is always in service to the feminine. Your vision is the feminine, masculine is money. All right. So the way money is designed to work and to flow is to support you in fulfilling your vision, whatever that is, for you to be the fullest expression of yourself. All right. Not trusting yourself. This is so important. The money will show up after you say yes and make a committed decision to whatever it is that you want. This is another part of my quantum leap background, is when I decided I was done playing small and I decided to be the fullest expression of myself, I felt called to invest $50,000 in mentorship with a woman who I'd very loosely followed up until that point for 6 months worth of private coaching. It was a petrifying, at the time I made 100 the whole year before, I hadn't saved any of it hardly. I didn't have the money sitting around to do it. I had such a strong knowing that I need to do this, not just to get in the mentorship, but to be able to get uncomfortable enough to finally nix these limiting money beliefs and to show up as the woman who is worthy of receiving 7 figures. I'd heard before that whatever it is that you want to make this year, invest 5 to 10% of that in coaching. So I was like, well, I guess that makes sense, even though it feels massively uncomfortable. I was so uncomfortable in that, but I trusted myself. I figured out how to put the deposit on a credit card. And then after that, the money came. After that, I turned my annual income into my monthly income. If I hadn't trusted myself in that moment, it wouldn't have happened. I know without a shadow of a doubt, I would have stayed stuck where I was. Waiting until you have the money to do what you want. Again, law of sufficiency and abundance. The money comes after you say yes and make a committed decision, but you will always have enough to get you started. Whether you actually have that physically in hand, you have it on a credit card, you reach out to a family member, someone to borrow it, like you will always have what you need to take the next step towards your desire. It's universal law. It's how it works. But if you believe you don't, then you won't. So this is really important. This is why we started with mind over matter. Thinking you have to know how. This is so beautiful. With whatever your goal is, this is how the subconscious works. Again, we talked about this yesterday. You don't have to know the how. You just have to say yes. And then from the place of saying yes, not just the money flows into support, but the ideas of actions to take will flow in. But it's the way your mind is designed. The subconscious saves money. It saves energy. It conserves energy. So it's not going to give you ideas of things you could do to go get the money or achieve the goal until you give it a committed, no, this is happening. And that energy is very different from, well, maybe someday, or maybe I'll do it. Like it doesn't listen. Your subconscious doesn't listen if you're in any sort of maybe energy. It is only from the place of absolutely, yes, this is happening, and doing some sort of a burn the ships. Yes, it's done type of action. Like when we're ready for the quantum leap, that's what's required. And then again, not taking intuitively guided action will also kink the flow of the money. So there's so much more I could say about all of those. I'm going to keep going, but who here had something show up where it's like, yeah, I see where I'm kinking the flow, right? No judgment, just awareness. I want you to have awareness. This is the power of knowing where you are. You got to know where you are to get to where you want to be, right? So awareness. Number 2, worthy to receive. Worthy to receive. This is a huge thing that will open up money in your life. I'm seeing Penny nodding. Yes, it is critical. And I had so much unworthiness around receiving. And this is no knock on the church I grew up in, but I remember singing so many songs about like, I am not worthy. I am not worthy. I am not worthy. So not just that, but then conditioning from all over society, the world, that I wasn't good enough, pretty enough, smart enough, whatever. There was so much conditioning around unworthiness. We've all had it. Well, here's the thing. Your level of income will never exceed your level of self-worth. Your level of income will never exceed your level of self-worth. And there is story after story in this community. I mean, Laura shared it yesterday about how stepping into her worthiness around receiving, specifically around receiving money, she was able to get the dream opportunity after dream opportunity handed to her and double her income within 6 months. So it is all about stepping into a greater level of worthiness. We don't have time for a deep dive. I feel like I just want to let you know there's so much to this, but I'm aiming to give you as much as I can in this amount of time. But one of the big keys to worthiness is remembering that people will value you based on your evaluation of you. All right. So if you want to charge more, if you want to receive more, so insert whatever it is, the world, clients, employers, team will value you based on your evaluation of you. Before I could charge 6 figures for a private coaching package, I had to believe I was worthy of it. And then from that place, clients paid it. So it's all about your perception of you. You have to get sold on you. So if you're waiting for customers to tell you you're good enough, you're going to be waiting a long time. If you're waiting for social media to tell you you're good enough, you're going to be waiting a long time. If you're waiting for the booking manager to tell you you're good enough, you're going to be waiting a long time. If you're waiting for the sales to come in to tell you you're good enough, you're going to be waiting a long time. If you're waiting for the follows to come in to tell you you're good enough, you're going to be waiting a long time. You get sold on you. And then the world will shift to mirror that back. But you've got to get sold on you. Okay, so that's a huge underlying theme in that foundational work we do with our clients of the big three, is getting you sold on you so that you can actually receive and experience what you want. Final of the three things that will shift your relationship with money: aligning with bigger and bigger numbers. And this is so fun. This is so fun. There is so much power in proximity. And we're going to have Penny come up in a minute and share a little bit of her journey. And Penny, I think this is something that you even, you might speak about with the group, but it's not a certain number amount. This is important. And again, I've mentioned a bit about our programs. We work with women in the 10K club to get them to the 6-figure level. And then we work with them in the 50K club to get them to multi 6 and 7 figures. So there is that dollar amount component of it, but every single woman is different. So I don't want you to get fixated and attached to like, I'm only good enough when I'm doing this. I'm only good enough if I'm making 10K months. I'm only good enough if I'm doing 100K month or $1 million a month. I want you to attune to who is the fullest expression of you at this point in your life and in your career. And then again, that's the vision. You're leading with that. The money is just the how. So it's different for every woman. Sometimes I work with women and it's less than what they think they need. They're like, man, you know what? I actually really want to like sell everything and go live abroad and live cheaply for all. It's like, they don't actually need what they thought they needed. Beautiful. Go do that. A lot of times we work with women who have been so restricting what they allow in because of some deep-seated fears about what it would mean for them to actually be wealthy, actually be visible, actually be leading on the world stage the way they want to, whether that's singer-songwriter, whether that's a keynote speaker, whether it's an influencer, a thought leader, a leader in your family and your community. And that does require more money than you're allowing in right now. So either way, I don't care what the dollar amount is. We want to get tuned to who do you want to show up as now? And what do you want to experience in this one precious life that you've received as this version of you? And then what is required from that? So from there, again, not everyone, most women find, man, I got to let in more. It's time to receive more. So if you're going to do that, it is important to start practicing being in bigger energy, bigger number energy. Proximity is critical for that. One of the biggest things that helped me was getting in a mastermind with other women who were going for $1 million, because for me, it felt really big until it didn't, until I started talking to people who were like, $1 million is nothing. What are you talking about? Right. And it's all perspective. It's all perspective. So again, just like we talked about yesterday, maybe $1 million feels big to you right now. Maybe it doesn't. Is it big to Richard Branson? Is it big to Oprah? Is it big to Elon Musk? Is it big to some of the women in this community? No, it's not. It's all relative. So this is the power of proximity and being around other women who are unapologetically going for more so that they can live the fullest expression of themselves. So I could keep going on. We don't have time for that. I'm going to call up Penny. I think you're our client interview for today, right? I'm so excited to introduce you all to Penny. Penny, we're going to chat for like maybe 5 minutes or so. And Penny is the most beautiful, delightful soul. We connected, about a year ago? I think it was October of last year.
About a year. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just like fell in love with Penny when I met. I was like, her energy is amazing. Penny, will you share a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what was going on for you when you came into the community?
Sure. Hi, everybody. So yes, I am a multi-entrepreneur. I own a couple of businesses. First and foremost is a travel agency. I own 2 luxury travel agencies. And then I have Christina's also in the community, and she and I co-founded a digital media and coaching company that helps other travel advisors on their journey. So we had just started, our business was about 14 months old when we joined Elise, and we were actually looking for a different type of coach. To be transparent, we thought we wanted a product coach. And Christine and I were having a touch base, and she's like, oh, I have to go. I have to be on this session. And I'm like a really curious and also FOMO person. And I'm like, what session? Should I be there too? And so she's like, sure, come on. And so I just resonated with everything you said, Elise, like the language that you were using and what, I don't even remember what the session was about, but just, I knew in a minute, like, this is where we need to be. Christina was a longtime follower, but didn't think transparently that we could afford, right? She thought, okay, Penny won't do this because we can't afford to invest in ourselves like this at that time. And she's usually the spender, and I'm usually the more like, oh, let's hold on to it a little longer and see. And I was like, no, this is it. This is what we're looking for. This is what we should do. And we really wanted to do the journey together. But what's actually happened is it's been a threefold blessing because we've done it together and we've both done it independently. And so just across the board, it's been phenomenal, phenomenal year. Yeah.
Penny, will you speak a little bit to, you and I were talking on a call a while back about legacy and how you're seeing this impacting your son, Will, and your family. Do you mind speaking just a little bit to what you're seeing shift in your family as you do this work?
Yeah. So interestingly enough, I thought I had done 2 years of a money mindset journey, right? Now I realized I was doing the DIY version of money mindset journey. And when I joined the 10K club, and then we went to Sedona in January, and I upgraded to 50K. And it was a no-brainer when we upgraded there too as well. I realized I'm in the masterclass now. And when I have something, I really want to share it with my family, like they're my sounding board. My mom lives with me. My son was, he's in college, but when he's home, my office, it's kind of like right in the middle of between the kitchen and the living room. So if I'm on a video, they hear and they're soaking it in too. And so unintentionally or intentionally, they're having mindset changes. They are thinking about things differently. And one of the challenges or one of the homeworks that we had in 50K Club was think of 50 things like that you want to experience. And that was really hard for a while for me. So I kind of got up to like 30, and then I was like, okay, fam, I need some more ideas to put on this list, because I started feeling, like, oh, I was getting greedy, or, oh, this is uncomfortable. But I was like, you know what? One of the things that I absolutely love, and kind of journaled about it earlier, was I love to give. So I was like, you know what? I would have experienced joy if I could, fulfill some of your dreams and your wishes. So what are they? And so quickly we started just talking about it. And on vacation recently, I took my niece and my son to Disney, and we were just, having like end of the day conversation. And I said something to my niece about, oh, well, you can stay at my, whatever house here in Florida. And she's like, wait, is this real? Are you buying a house? And I was like, well, it's on my top 50 list. And my son quickly said, oh, if it's on our list, she's doing it. She's manifesting it right now. And what I love about that is what I said earlier today was, I didn't know this when he was growing up, but now at 22, if I can just give him just a little bit more, just a little bit of an idea, a peek into what he can do for himself, and a change in the legacy that our family can have, then, it's worth it to me. So,
oh my gosh. I want to ask you one more question. I don't know if you've thought about this or not, but what are you most proud of yourself for? What's the transformation you're most proud of yourself for over the past year?
Yeah, being very vulnerable, because I'm a very quiet, shy, happy person, and I do live my life in joy, but I am experiencing the most happiness and the most joy, because I do think they're two different things, that I've ever had in my life. And it's because I've been vulnerable to address some things that I didn't even know I needed to address. And so stepping into that and owning those, and then just saying, you know what, that's okay. And when you know better, you do better. And I'm doing better. And I'm just, I'm on cloud 9 all the time.
Oh my gosh. I love you. I love you.
You
Thank
too.
you. I just love having you here in our community, and your share is so powerful. So thank you. All right. Homework for day 2. Who here has enjoyed this so far, like had some shifts and noticing that you, and by the way, whether if you're watching the replay, I love you. Hello. For those of you who are here live, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day and your week to be here. I do think we get the biggest transformation when we show up live. I don't think I know. We get the biggest results when we show up live. We're committed, we're on camera, we're visible, we're doing the things. So thank you. Thank you. And thank yourself too, because the one who's going to win is you. So homework for tonight, I am going to invite you to write a letter to money. And even if you're in my programs and you've done this before, I want you to do another one as if money was a person. And again, you can't get to where you want to go if you don't know where you are right now. So this is something I originally did from the You're a Badass at Making Money book, which is awesome. By the way, it's on our recommended reading list for our clients. And I'm actually on a stint right now where I'm writing a letter to money every day for 30 days. And it's been so beautiful just to see like what shows up in that. And it really is every day. It's like, thank you, thank you, thank you. But I was not there when I first started. My letter to money looked very different. So I want you to get some awareness as if money was a person. What would you say if you were writing a letter to it? You're going to get it all out. Let it be ugly. Let it be messy. It's okay. That's again, that we got to know where we're starting to be able to make the shift and the transformation. But let's see where you're at with it. Tomorrow, we're going to dive deeper into all of this, and we're going to start to pull in the third of the big 3, which is about how to integrate your masculine and feminine energy. So if you want to earn way more without burnout or depletion, if you want to be more magnetic towards the opportunities that you desire, that's everything we're talking about tomorrow. So same time, same place, post your homework in the Facebook group for I will just say super quick. If you are comfortable sharing your letter, I'd love that. If you're not, put like what showed up for you in that, put what awareness you had. Either way is good and counts for homework tonight. So I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. So much love, everyone. Bye-bye.